Well, good evening and welcome to Titusville Rocket Wrestling. We have quite an evening for you, and we'll set it up here in just a moment. Our coverage of Rocket Wrestling this season made possible by these great sponsors: by Anderson Physical Therapy, by The Parking Lot, by Interstate Pipe and Supply, by Armstrong, by Oil Creek Plastics, by Community Connect Federal Credit Union, by Dr. Timothy Brooks, by State Farm Insurance, by the Meadville Medical Center, Titusville Area Hospital, by Donovan and Bauer Auto Group, by Wagner's Gun Tech, by Hilltop Discount Grocery, by Titusville Market Square, and by Big G Tire and Auto. And we welcome you to the Launchpad tonight for Rocket Wrestling. Tonight the Rockets welcome the Saegertown Panthers, and we bring in Jim Bodemer and Pat Nosko for tonight's broadcast. Good evening, guys.
Hey, Luke. Good evening, and it's good to be down here at the House of Thrills again, the Launchpad, Pat, and the opening season for us at the home match with Saegertown. Two programs that are very strong. Perennially, Saegertown and Titusville have both had very strong wrestling programs, and tonight I'm sure it's not going to be any different. Your first time out in this side of the booth, and it's going to be a lot of fun sitting here and chatting with you about the wrestling match tonight. What do you expect as a – well, let's talk to you first as a parent. You're sitting here as a parent, and your kids are out here wrestling. What's that like for you?
Depends on the match. It's not usually a lot of yelling and screaming,
Not for
trying to keep it, under control a little bit, trying to give a little advice from the stands and loud enough to be heard.
So when it comes up to 285 tonight, then I'll have to do that match and you can just sit here.
Oh, I can try and keep it down and under control a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start out with middle school, and then from there we'll go into the JV match and varsity. So there's a lot going on here this evening, folks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be bringing it all to you right here from the Launchpad, Luke.
Well, looking forward to it. We have middle school. We'll get to the JV and then the varsity tonight. And Pat, we know that Titusville has a great history of Rocket Wrestling. Saegertown also a very strong wrestling program.
Very strong. I think Coach Mulligan's been there for a number of years. He's really built up a strong program that has really shown with a small school and his ability to bring wrestlers in and get them trained. And filling the weights is hard. When you look, Titusville will be forfeiting
four weights
tonight. That's a hard deficit to overcome when you have a team that is, has a full lineup.
One of the things that Pat and I were talking about at the beginning, Luke, was that very issue of the strength of our program. He talked about the coaches at Saegertown being there a long period of time. That longevity has a lot to do with it. We've had a couple of changes over the years. Mo Bones was here quite a little while, and then Tom Hancock was in. And then we've made the third change now, and it's a situation where even with that change with Titusville, these guys are all consistent. They've worked together, they know each other, and so as we made those changes here at Titusville in our wrestling program, it really didn't deter the program like it can many times when you make coaches changes in a sport. So both programs that you mentioned, Luke, is going to be very strong. Look for a really good match tonight.
Well, we're going to be starting with the middle school, and Titusville's coming out to warm up. Pat, you kind of attacked it from the parent side of things. Tell us about your experience going through the program just a few years ago.
Just a few, yeah. That was very generous of you, Luke. It was a whole different time and era. Some of the cutting the weight, all the things that the kids go through now. They have to get weighed in preseason. They have to check their urine for specific gravity. And then have a weight descent plan based on that. At the very beginning of the season, they're very much watching the weights and trying to get the kids doing it correctly and moving down versus, the old days of a plastic garbage bag, running in the pool balcony, spitting in a cup, and then the old alcohol baths in the shower.
We were talking about years ago, Luke, when I was watching my buddies wrestle many, many years ago, and how they would, during the day, they would be put into the boiler room and go through that whole process that Pat was talking about just to make weight. And as you say, it's much healthier sport because of that now. They watch that closer. Pat, one of the things I was wondering about, you get into the middle school, what are you looking for as you watch your middle school kids wrestle as a coach? In basketball, I know you work on fundamentals. What is it in wrestling that you're looking at with these younger kids?
Really, you get back into the fundamentals here too. When you go off into a state tournament, you'll see some moves, but oftentimes you'll see the basic moves over and over again. The half, just basic takedowns, single legs, double legs. You're watching those basic moves over and over again and drilling that into the kids. They don't have to do the fancy. They don't have to be throwing legs in all the time. Just working your basics, and sometimes it's just the sense of the mat. You watch some of the younger kids and you can really just see they develop a sense of where they are, what they're doing, what that next not only the next move, but maybe the third or fourth move down the line. And that's a big difference when you can see that building in some of the kids, and some of that will blend out. The more kids that start learning that, they kind of breed it into each other.
The win-loss mentality at this level, is that something that is, I don't want to say it's de-emphasized, but anytime you compete, you want to win. And you certainly want to build that attitude. But you put more emphasis then on the fundamental, on the footwork, on the single, double type, whatever it is, as opposed to don't worry about your record right now.
Yeah, that there is the don't worry about your record, but every kid knows the record.
You betcha. Can't play a game without keeping score. I don't care who you are.
Now it looks like, we're only fielding 6 matches in the junior high tonight. Titusville seems to have a few more kids than that, but everybody must not get a match tonight. Kind of the opposite.
Of the varsity level. We don't have the lineup for the varsity yet for Saegertown, so we don't know if they fill in the whole roster or not. We'll get that as we go along here, even for the JVs. But, it's going to be a shorter middle school match. It's nice, though, to look down there and see the numbers. That's for the future of the program. You have the numbers out there, so that's going to be good. The other thing I was wondering, Luke, you may know a little bit about this from talking to AD Scott Selvo, but you have that whole process of how COVID is going to affect. I'm looking at the official out there. You can see them. They're looking for different marks on the mat. What they're going to do in terms of the cleanliness, the health issues with COVID. I don't know how that's going to affect here this evening.
Pat, I want to know how difficult it is as a wrestler. Usually you go from football season into the wrestling season, but it was so broken up this year. Does that play a factor in how things are going to maybe work out for these athletes for the first couple weeks?
I think we're going to see a lot of kids struggling, especially in that third period.
Yeah.
Kids that normally this time of year they're still struggling to get in shape, having that endurance to make the end of the match. With that long break between football and wrestling season, and then with COVID kind of shutting everything down, I think we're going to see a lot of kids who are struggling to be able to wrestle a full match and not have any problems with that.
Yeah, I was wondering myself, as Luke was saying, what effect, especially in the third period of a long match, what it's going to be like. First match, I think they're weighing in at 108. Hoya from Saegertown and Huck from Titusville. Sorry about that. Well, we have people that can help us with names from Saegertown, so that'll be good.
And I apologize to everyone that I butchered their name off in the beginning.
They're used to it, Pat. They've listened to me do games, so.
These two are getting up. There's a good shot in. As he's trying to work up on that.
Now Saegertown, does he want to control Titusville's leg to block?
He wants to try and hold on so Titusville doesn't get behind him, trying to get in. Now he just kind of gave up on that. So Titusville just got a 2-point for the takedown. And they're going to be out of bounds. Titusville got in on a nice shot there. it's weird not seeing too many people in the gym like this.
It is, yeah. Place got really noisy during wrestling matches.
He's got a hold of that hand in there and trying to work him over. He was able to stop his first move from getting up there.
Going to turn him.
He's going to try a little tilt there.
How about all the tilt will give you, and it's not all it'll give you, but it gives you back points. It's very critical.
Very critical. Get a few points up. Hard to pin some kids in the first period. You know, they're still a little too strong and
adrenaline's
active.
flying. Yep. Yeah.
All right, Titusville chose down.
What's the advantage, up or down? Just
especially when
skills.
Depends on how good you are at standing up and getting out.
Yeah.
Nice thing is you get that when you're fresh and get that escape. You know, he's up, he's moving around, he's just trying to get that leg worked out. And he missed the head coming back down. Ooh, he got a nice little roll there. Almost got out, but Saegertown did a nice job keeping his hips in. These two kids are both working pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They both seem to be pretty equal in skills.
He's got that bar and he's just kind of rolling. But
he's in trouble there.
I think he's
going to roll through.
Oh, no, he did get a couple back points out of that.
Pretty quick.
He's got a good bar in now. Now Titusville's kind of getting close to getting that leg. Oh. Doesn't have him quite turned over. The ref's counting now.
Got 15 seconds in the period. Got to hang on. And
I thought he was going to step right out of that there when he got caught and put right on his back. Saegertown kid did a nice job there.
5-2. Saegertown on top.
And he's going to choose top. He did well riding him out the last time. No use going down and
with that arm.
Probably going to end in a
stalemate.
No, I was thinking they were going to end in a stalemate, but he's moving pretty good out of there. He's still kind of fighting his way out the back door.
Yeah. 7-2. Good.
Oh, there he's got the reverse in. Nice, close. Saegertown's still holding on, but if Titusville can get an arm out, nope, he had enough to hold on there.
Good effort.
They both have a good match in. And this is hard because Titusville's just trying to fight there, and it's a hard position to get out of, and having a lot of time left in the match.
We got 15 seconds left. Titusville's really struggled and really worked hard not getting pinned. He's heck of an effort.
He's fought hard.
They got him. 2 seconds left.
So close. Nice match between the two boys.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good match.
Okay, now we're going to jump up to the 130 weight class with Hughes from Saegertown and Johnson from Titusville.
I think there might have been an incident there with as hard as Titusville had to work that second and third period. You were talking about conditioning and so on, although I thought he looked pretty good, even though he put a lot of effort in there to stay off his back.
Yeah, he did.
It was a good effort. You see things like that, and it's something you build on as a coach.
Yeah, there's always room to learn.
Yeah, but if you don't want to learn, it's pretty hard to teach a kid. You got to have that desire, and he looked like he had that desire to.
And then you look at some of these kids are coming in first and second year wrestlers, and then you have other kids that have been out there for years doing this.
Yeah, and they come up through these youth programs around the communities too, and they've had the time on the mat.
Makes a big difference and you can see it sometimes when these kids come out.
Gonna go that cradle.
He's got him stacked up pretty good.
Now. Yeah, it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember years ago, Pat, when that cradle came out, it became everybody was shooting cradles and far and near cradle. And I'm telling you, once they lock that thing in, it's nasty. I don't know if that's what was that what.
He got him locked up in that near cradle and,
yeah.
Stacked him up pretty good with that. Yeah. This is another 130-pound match, Kaiser and Koval.
This Koval boy looks like he's putting in the weight room a little bit.
Yep. Looking at these two and their feet moving, they're both going. And he was able to spin behind him, get his 2 points. He's got an arm hiding up, and he's going right for the cradle too. And he's got that locked up if he can get his knee in and get him propped up there. That ability to Saegertown kicked out pretty good.
You watch the match, I'll see if Dad has a heart attack up there.
He's trying to work that bar in.
You were talking, Pat, before we went on the air about as a parent sitting down front and coaching and so on. You sit here and listen. Parents, everybody has advice.
Oh, yeah.
And that's true in all sports, but for some reason, in a wrestling match, you seem to, it stands out. You can hear the crowd a little better. Mom and Dad seem to be a little louder than.
And sometimes they don't know what they're yelling for any other time either.
That's true in all sports. I've refereed every game from the stands. They haven't made a good call yet. Of course, I tell everybody I haven't missed one yet either. Yeah, Mr. Cole doing a nice job.
Very good first period on these two.
5-0 Titusville. End of the period.
There he got him out. And he spun around. Got his two for a takedown. And now going for a little tilt.
Let him roll through.
He's got that arm pulled in tight on the waist, and now he's trying to get that bar in.
Luke, do you know what grade Cole's in? I guess the question I had, Pat, would be for Luke. There was more of, he looks like he's wrestled for a while. You talked the last match about some of these kids starting new and some of them been around for a while.
Brock's a sophomore.
Yeah, Brock's a sophomore, but he's on varsity. So this boy, he might be an 8th grader. So he's pretty strong.
Oh, yeah, he's looks in good shape.
Yeah, he does. I was looking at the legs.
And this is one problem that I see for both schools. When you look at some of your wrestlers,
yes,
you have, this junior high match, we're wrestling 2 130-pound classes.
What do you do with them next year?
Next year, when they get into the varsity, somebody sit in the bench if, you can't.
Yeah, and with the new rules of weight, like you were talking before, in terms of the certification, you can't bounce them around too much.
Nope.
So, young Koval looks like a mature young man.
Yeah.
You know, his muscle tones looks a little older than 8th grade, 7th, whatever grade he's in. I don't know what grade he's in, but.
Definitely the pace has slowed down a little bit from the first period to the third.
Yeah, it has. Koval's up 8-0, Titusville.
Getting a little hand control and working himself up. He's going to get out here. No. Nope. Brought him back down. That was kind of the same place he did earlier that, you know. Trying to keep him broke down and trying to get something in.
8th grade.
8th grade?
Yeah.
Thank you. He's a strong-looking 8th grader. You've watched it, too, over the years, Pat. It's fun to see these kids, and then you follow them through from 8th grade to 12th grade, whatever sport it is. It's, you mentioned before, watching them develop. It's a lot of fun to do that as a spectator.
And how much over the years they've changed.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure Pat has had several moments where he's looked at his kid, pick all of them, and go, wow, they grew up.
Well, when the Noscos grew up, they grew up. They weren't like me going to 150 to 170. They went from 170 to 250.
This not shaking hands stuff is different too. Both the kids seem to have trouble with
Just
that.
beat the snot out of each other and wrestling, and they're not allowed to shake hands.
Then we're
Neither one of the boys knew exactly what to do.
Pat, did you notice that during football season, like at the end of the game, both teams would sort of just come out and just stare at each other like, we're supposed to do something.
But we don't know what we're doing. All right, this is a 148-pound match with Craig from Saegertown and Miller from Titusville. Working back in.
Now, the kids have summer camps they go to, or do they have a local program?
Usually they've been going away to some of the college programs, but I don't know that they had anything this year.
Well, with COVID, I'm sure that slowed things down.
Usually with the Varsity, they were going down to a Virginia Tech program. Got a nice shot in for double. Saegertown did a nice sprawl on that.
.30 seconds left in the period.
Titusville took a shot. That stalemate more from inexperience than anything else. They both had they need to learn the sport a little bit more. You can tell they're, compared to the last two wrestlers, they seem.
Yeah, they both look younger and skill-wise. Younger by skill. Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard when you have kids that are first and second year coming out in the junior high level, and you get that in the varsity too. And I think Titusville did a nice stand up. Saegertown got caught locking their hands when they came back down onto the mat. I think as much as the kids not knowing how to shake hands, I think the parents don't know how to do some of this stuff too.
Yeah.
We were wondering tonight whether there'd be Saegertown fans here, if
Right.
they'd be allowed in the gym.
Yeah. Well,
Titusville turned around.
Luke and I have talked many times about
He was close to getting out there.
the difficulties as an administrator, athletic director, superintendent of schools, etc., making these decisions, and PIAA even at that level, determining who can, who can't come, how many numbers, and so on. It's tough. Is that a stall warning?
That was a stall warning on Titusville. Not making much effort to try and get out. I think he didn't know exactly what move to work on to get up from there. They both.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's just in that.
Oh, and there's the cradle again. Kind of that basic.
Got his arm under there. It's
And this is where, there he's starting to kick. And Saegertown needed to get his knee into his ribs and get him spread out. Titusville did a nice job kicking to get rolled over and out of there.
Had a situation like that, are you looking at the clock, seeing how much time you have to kind of, get through before the end of the period?
As a parent, I'd be looking at the clock, but as a wrestler, he better be kicking and trying to get his shoulders off the mat, because it doesn't matter how much time's left, that pin can come pretty quick. And each ref has a different, seems to be a very wide range of how quickly you can get yourself pinned down there.
Well, one mistake and you could be in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Just a weight shift.
It's amazing when you watch some of these kids over and over again, and that one little mistake can be the difference.
Well, I'm sorry. Before I was going to ask you, they had the stall warning on Titusville. How critical is it to have a good officiating at this level so these kids learn these things? Is that a thought coaches have?
Especially at the JV level, a lot of times the officiating needs to be more of a learning experience, because you get those first and second year kids out there and they may never have been called for stalling before. You saw him, he explained that to him when he came up.
Yeah.
And the locking hands earlier, he explained it to the Saegertown kid as he was out. There he reversed him for 2. He's got about 12 seconds left and a few points he needs to make up.
Well, that was my reasoning for asking that. I think sometimes in athletics we get our younger officials, we put them at the lower levels, and they're learning also. And I like what he was doing, as you mentioned, explain to the athletes what they did wrong, or why he made that call, and teaching them as they go here at this level.
Because sometimes these kids don't realize what they're doing wrong, and you see it in the varsity level too, though. But then that becomes more of the coaching. So now we're at the 158, Jordan for Saegertown and Hancock for Titusville. And you get certain kids that like certain moves too. Sometimes I know with mine, I knew what they were capable of and what they did a better job on. Saegertown came around pretty nice for that 2 points. And he's got bundling them up there. He's going to keep coming around.
Oh, he's got him locked in good.
He's got him locked up pretty tight.
Yeah.
And he's got over 30 seconds left, so it's turn him around, let go of that. Got his 3 back. Now he's got that half in, and he's driving over pretty good. Yeah.
Good old half, huh?
Just back to the basics. Halves.
Yep.
Halves, cradles.
I want to say hi to Mike Schmidt watching from Meadville and saying hello to Susan Peterson watching from California.
Oh. Probably not enjoying the snow like we are out there, huh?
Okay, so this is a 250-pound match. Corner from Saegertown and Sutton from Titusville. These two trying to get in on each other here, and
A couple of big boys, young boys. These are couple of kids you want to watch as they grow, not just in wrestling, but in other areas. I would think a football coach would see a young boy like this coming up at 250 this age and say,
let's get you in the weight room and get moving.
Yes, that's right. Remember years ago, Greenville was a very strong wrestler, probably still are. But their football team was all wrestlers. And those kids were their basketball teams were pretty weak at that time. But their wrestling and their football was strong. They used to play that old single wing. And it was 11 linemen and 1 running back. Came to wrestling season, it was 12 football players. They were tough. Very strong, well-conditioned.
I hit him with the headlock. He was pushing in pretty good.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to end well.
No.
But sometimes you get them pushing back like that, and it goes quick.
Well, we talked about the weight and the balance. Yeah, that happens real quick. So the middle school match is over, and it was fun to watch. And it's going to be nice to see these young men progress as they go along, and we'll follow them the next several years. They'll be around. So JV match coming up here pretty quick. So Luke?
Yeah, we'll get a couple commercials in and then bring you JV action and varsity still to come here tonight as well. So an exciting night of Rocket Wrestling. We'll continue here on Stream Television. And for those just joining us on Armstrong, welcome. We'll have JV and varsity action for you coming up in just a few moments between the Rockets and the Saegertown Panthers. We'll be right back.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
Whoever said,
"It's only a dog,"
never loved a dog. Our philosophy is simple. We treat every dog as if it were our own, and believe us, we spoil our dogs. When dogs are comfortable, they're happy. The Barking Lot in Titusville is ready to make your dog happy by offering grooming services, daycare, and boarding. Call today to schedule an appointment, or better yet, stop in and discover a stranger, crazier, quirkier group of dog lovers at the Barking Lot in Titusville.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union is here for you. In a world of uncertainty, isn't it nice to know some things haven't changed? Like Community Connect's commitment to their members and community. We are here to help you save, plan, invest, grow, and sometimes move forward into new opportunities or adventures. Community Connect FCU has many options available, and becoming a member is pretty easy. Stop in, call, or visit our website at communityconnectfcu.com and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street, Titusville.
And good evening and welcome, that's not right, to Titusville Rocket Wrestling tonight. Not girls basketball, we're doing wrestling tonight. Our coverage of Rocket sports this season made possible by these great sponsors: Anderson Physical Therapy, by The Barking Lot, by Interstate Pipe and Supply, by Armstrong, by Oil Creek Plastics, by Community Connect Federal Credit Union, by Dr. Timothy Brooks, by State Farm Insurance, by the Meadville Medical Center, Titusville Area Hospital, by Donovan and Bauer Auto Group, by Wagner's Gun Tech, by Hilltop Discount Grocery, by Titusville Market Square, and by Big G Tire and Auto. And we welcome you to the Launchpad this evening for Titusville Rocket Wrestling. Tonight the Rockets host the Saegertown Panthers, and we bring in Jim Bodemer and Pat Nosko, who called the middle school match, and we're getting ready for the JV action here tonight before we bring you varsity action. Guys, good evening.
Look, good evening, and welcome to our friends from Armstrong. Glad to have them with us here as we get ready and waiting for the JV varsity match to come up. And just concluded with the middle school. We had six bouts in that middle school, and kind of interesting, Pat, we were talking about how a program develops and so on. Titusville seemed to have like 15 young men on their squad, but wrestled only 6 tonight with Saegertown. How important is that middle school program and the feeder program to develop into your varsity program?
I think it's key, just getting the numbers out, to fill in those weights. I mean, you can have 10 great athletes on a team, but if they all weigh the same, then you're only filling 1 or 2 weights. With the way cutting weight and stuff, they can't really spread those 2 players out too much. Now, you get enough kids coming out, recruiting their friends, learning the basics, and then let the varsity coach fine-tune some things there. I think, we just got to see those numbers keep growing and growing, and Titusville's done a nice job getting those numbers out. This year's freshman class coming into the varsity, they're filling in 5 wrestlers this year on the varsity team. So, kind of light in the seniors and juniors. They have 2 seniors this year and 1 junior.
I think that seems to be kind of the problem without our sports program this year. In terms, I talked to the basketball coach tonight, and he lost 7 seniors last year. So having that filler program coming up through and getting these kids out there is important to developing the program. But it's a very difficult situation if you can't get the numbers. Years ago, we had a Y program here. I don't know if your kids were involved in that or not, but it's like a swimming program. The Y wrestling program kind of fed this a little bit. What do you do in the elementary level here for wrestling? How young do you want to start these kids in the program?
Usually, a lot of the programs around here are starting them about 5, and bringing them up. The program is now independent. The youth grappling is run. It's kind of an independent facility. They're not running through the Y program or the YM. They're running independently. The youth tournament used to be held here. That's been changed a lot over the years, trying to find their little niche of whether being an open tournament or whether to be a novice tournament, that first or second year wrestler only. Trying to pick a date that works every year to get those people in. You get a lot of kids coming out in that very young age, and it's trying to keep them in there. But then you notice some kids kind of falling out as they look, and maybe there's a couple of kids their weight that are going to be starting ahead of them as they hit the junior high program and the varsity program, and they lose a little interest. It's a hard sport to wrestle and be the second best 160 pounder on the team, and knowing that unless your friend gets hurt, you're not going in.
Yeah.
And then it's hard. Very few schools have double weight, 2 people at each weight. So, you don't get a lot of JV matches, no matter what.
What would be one of the discussions we have in sports in our family and with different friends is the burnout rate. How does that play into knowing when a child is ready for this, not, how much is too much? You've raised your children through multi-sports. Is that a factor at all, do you think?
I think so. I look at some of the kids and how much you push them, and each kid's different. My older 2 wrestled right up through the youth program up and never took a year off. Lodge took some time off, and he swam for a few years. Mm-hmm. He played basketball for a year. And now he's coming back into wrestling. He's kind of, I won't say he was burnt out, but he at least tested the water of some other sports to see what he preferred.
Hey, we're going to take a break here in just a moment, but we have up on the screen some banners, and of course, not only did the floor and the bleachers change over the last couple months, but we have new banners in here, and just looking at the league champions banner and the Wrestling 100 career wins, some good people on that list.
Oh, there really are. We've watched many of them. We were talking in the middle school match, and Pat was referring to some of these kids have special holds they go to. I was thinking of Aaron Lee. I watched Aaron wrestle, and I always thought that he was more of a defensive wrestler or a point wrestler as opposed to pins. We'll come back and talk about that a little bit here. Some of these names on here that you've watched, there's some good boys up there, and they were a lot of fun to watch. But take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of these career wrestlers from Titusville and wait for the 2 teams to come out here. JV match starting here in just a few minutes.
Exceptional care. That is what our team of compassionate experts at Titusville Area Hospital Orthopedics will provide. Whether you're experiencing aches and pains or have suffered from significant injury, we are here for you. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon Michael Dvorkin is highly experienced in treating all orthopedic and sports medicine conditions. No matter what the treatment may be, you can trust that we'll be here for you every step of the way, helping you get back to the life you enjoy. Learn more about our exceptional orthopedic care at titusvillehospital.org.
Interstate Pipe and Supply means it when we say service means business. With a knowledgeable staff, full fleet of trucks, and large product offering, we can answer your questions and fill your orders, big job or small. Covering multiple applications and industries, we're not just a plumbing location, but a one-stop shop assisting homeowners and contractors quickly and efficiently. We are locally owned and make it our #1 priority to keep our customers returning and happy. We have been a staple in the Titusville community for 40 plus years. Stop in today and let us service you. Good luck to the Titusville Rockets this year.
When it comes to your rehabilitation needs, you have a say in the kind of care you want to receive. At Anderson Physical Therapy, we are committed to your long-term health and well-being. We don't treat you like a patient, we treat you like a person, discussing your injury or condition and working with you on a game plan to get you back to better health. So stay on top of your game with a friendly and knowledgeable therapist at Anderson Physical Therapy.
Tired of waiting days to get tires? At Big G Tire and Auto, most of the time they can have your tires ordered and delivered within the same day. Randy knows tires, but did you know Big G can also handle state inspections? In fact, if you purchased a vehicle at Donovan and Bauer Auto Group, your free state inspections will be honored at Big G. They'll also gladly inspect your vehicle if you purchased it elsewhere. For rust-averted undercoating, state inspections, and most name brand tires, Big G Tire and Auto can handle it all on the Hightown Road in Titusville. Attention local shoppers, Hilltop Discount Grocery is now open and ready to serve your grocery needs. Okay, it'll seem like you stepped back in time because Hilltop carries all of your essentials like milk, baked goods, fresh produce, ice, and more. Plus, you're greeted with a friendly smile and honest prices. No more long trips to the store when you can just run next door. Hilltop Discount Grocery, South Main Street in beautiful Pleasantville, Pennsylvania.
And welcome back to the Launchpad for Titusville Rocket Wrestling. Brought you middle school. Now we're going to be bringing you JV action here in just a moment. Luke Rio, Jim Bodmer, Pat Nosco. Camera operators tonight are Sam Rio and Gavin Griffin. Welcome to our coverage this evening.
We were talking about some of the former athletes, and I was talking about Aaron Lee, but there's been an awful lot of good wrestlers come out of the program. That was the 100 wins banner, I think that was, we had up there, if I'm not mistaken. We've lost a shot of it right now, but over the years, Pat, there we go, we're going to go back up on him, Gavin will get him for us. Some of these kids that you've watched, some of the outstanding wrestlers over the years, I could go clear back many years before you probably, but who do you recall that was outstanding in your mind?
Oh,
not necessarily in that list, but overall, just. I
mean, you look at the bottom three there: Seth Donovan, Parker Harvey, and Hunter Thompson, and Hunter Wagner. Those. I guess I said three, but four. Those kids have all been wrestling with my kids, so I got to watch a lot of those four boys, and watch them grow over the years, and kind of amazing how you see these kids grow up over the years. I mean. Watching them through the youth programs, developing, watching these kids when they were 50, 60 pounds coming up, and then, like Parker, going almost 200 pounds there his senior year going into wrestling. He dropped down quite a bit from that. But, he was pretty small when he first started with this. Hunter Wagner's, wrestled with my oldest quite a bit and, good friends. Hunter Thompson, all those pins, I'd like to know how many of those were by a farmer's. That was his favorite move, and you saw it coming from a mile away. It was like, he knew a lot of moves, but he went back to that basic time and time again.
I remember one of them, and I don't recall. I keep picking on Aaron Lee. I shouldn't do that, but fireman's carry. One of them kept shooting for that all the time, and they just get, like you mentioned earlier, some of these kids have this one particular move, and they get into that one move, and boy, they can just spot it when your weight is a certain way, your feet are a certain way, whatever, as an opponent. They throw that sucker on you, and you're in trouble. It was always fun to watch that. So we're going to take another quick break. We're not too far away from getting the JV match. Saegertown warming up. Titus will be out here in a moment to warm up, and we'll get the JV match underway. Stay with us. Wrestling from Titusville High School as they entertain the Saegertown Panthers.
At Donovan & Bauer Auto Group, we are well into the new year, but we have 9 remaining 2020 models that we need to move, and now is your chance to save huge on those units. How about a 2020 Chevy Spark with bonus cash and 0% APR for up to 84 months for qualified buyers? Or maybe you need something bigger, like a 2020 GMC Acadia AT4 all-wheel drive with over $7,800 off MSRP, priced at $36,740 after all qualifying offers. When you have the time, we invite you to find new roads and visit us on Route North in Titusville or shop online at donovanandbauer.com.
For 48 years, Oil Creek Plastics has provided quality, service, and integrity to their customers and community. Their talented and committed employees strive to deliver to their clients the best products that are American-made. In that spirit, our high school athletes show commitment to their school and community, excelling at every event. In these times of uncertainty, community comes together. Oil Creek Plastics is proud to support the Titusville Rockets and continue traditions that are made in the USA.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Hey, do they ever ask you what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Red sweater, button-down shirt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For a unique shopping experience with great gift ideas, decor, and so much more, come check out what Titusville Market Square's nearly 100 vendors have to offer, featuring unique items from local agribusiness, craftsmen, and vendors. We also offer products from 4 regional dairies, including a full line of Titusville dairy products. We carry a complete line of Amish wedding products, local honey, and maple syrup, as well as nostalgic Dog and Suds root beer and Fiestada pizzas. Don't forget to pick up fresh Clark's Donuts delivered daily. Titusville Market Square, the new name in one-stop shopping.
Whether you're a hunter, sports shooter, or collector, you'll want to come in and check out Wagner's Gun Tech. Wagner's Gun Tech is located on State Highway 27, just outside of Titusville. Wagner's carries a great selection of quality guns, ammunition, gun safes, and more. Wagner's Gun Tech also buys, sells, and trades guns. They also offer professional gunsmithing and appraisal. Wagner's friendly, knowledgeable staff can help you find what you're looking for. Call them at 814-775-0688 or stop into Wagner's Gun Tech, open Wednesday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturdays 10 to 4.
And welcome back to the Launchpad. Tonight, the Rockets host the Saegertown Panthers. We are excited to be here. Luke Rio, Jim Bodemer, Pat Nosco, camera crew ready to bring you the rest of tonight's matchup.
One of the things, Luke, that Pat and I were talking about during that last break is we found out, Pat had found out that Saegertown weighed several kids in at, what did you say, sometimes 3 in a weight class. So we don't know who's going to walk out on the mat in a particular weight class. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. See who they bounce around. I mean, Titusville's giving up 4 weight classes, so that in itself allows Saegertown to move it around a little bit.
Well, you have 24-0 before you even get going. So, but we have an assistant. Some of the fans from Saegertown's staff are sitting close by, Luke. So, no fear, we got it covered. But it should be interesting to see how it happens. I don't know if this is Saegertown's first match of the season or whether they have been out before, but it's very early in the season, and as we referred to a little bit ago, what effect the training process. How many days of practice, Pat, did they have to have if without COVID? Basketball was 15 before you could do anything. Was there a set number for wrestling too? Was PLW, do you recall?
I don't recall what they put in for that.
Because I know they had to change when they come back into session here. They had to change the rules, and they cut down the 15 to 10 for some of the sports. I'm not too sure what they did with the wrestling program, but that's going to have an effect upon these kids. Now we talked about the conditioning situation with COVID and so on. So we'll see what goes on with that. Waiting for Titusville to come out, and Titusville will warm up, and we'll get this JV match underway.
No, it looks like Saegertown has had a couple of matches. Starting on Saturday, it looked like they had a loss to Reynolds and Seneca Valley. And on Wednesday night, it looks like they beat Cochranton 55-16 by what I can pull up.
Reynolds. There are schools that are predominantly strong in sports. Reynolds is one of those schools. You've watched them over the years in the wrestling programs.
Oh, they're a force to be reckoned with, and I mean they team duels and stuff. They won the state last year, and I think that was their 4th year in a row for winning that.
Pat, what was it like for you going through the program? Do you ever talk to your kids and just sort of compare and talk about the differences in styles today?
A little bit. Back when I can remember in 8th grade, their heavyweight was an unlimited. And I remember that weight change coming in. There was a kid from Meadville that weighed over 300 pounds. He broke a lot of ribs that year, and the following year they put the restriction in.
I remember that. You're right.
And that was a nice thing to see as a heavyweight, to not have to go up against somebody that big.
I'd have to research, Luke, to go back to a few generations before that, the decades. I think at one point we had a top weight of about 180 in PIW wrestling. some of our folks out there are listening back in the 50s, late 50s, we didn't have the kids the size we have. In fact, they even dropped it down, went into the 90-pound, 95, 98-pound classes. And that changed about, 7 years ago or so. They moved it up to 106 because the kids are getting bigger and stronger, is my point. And that's changed the game quite a little bit.
And they manipulated the weights around a little bit this year, too.
Yes.
Dropping the 220 down to 215. And, they manipulated some of those weights to better align for what the schools are finding that they have year after year.
Yeah, that's something that would be very critical. You get a 285 against a 260. There's a big difference. So you jump from 215 to 285, and there's a young man coming in here at 245, 250, and he has to wrestle heavyweight at 285, and you get a bona fide 280-pound senior. There's a huge difference between that and a 250-pound sophomore. So I can understand why they mess with the weight class.
And then you look at some of these freshmen coming in, and then you pull some of these 18-year-old seniors, 19-year-old seniors, and versus a freshman. There's a big disparity there. You're looking at some big young men coming out there, facing some of these young freshmen.
And I think probably the two sports where you really would notice that would be the linemen in football and wrestling. Basketball, you can hide somebody a little bit, but out here with wrestling and with football, that disparity would really be outstanding. We saw it this year with Oil City. Their line went 305. Big seniors against some of the younger kids, and they just dominate. So, yeah, that's a very important part of it. Titusville wrestlers out warming up. We're not too far away from JV wrestling, and of course the varsity match coming up right after that. So stay with us.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
Wrestling match between Saegertown Panthers and your own Titusville Rockets. Please stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of Titusville Rocket Sports on Stream TV.
Lee Steiner, and for Titusville, forfeit. At 113 for Saegertown, Hunter Robinson, and for Titusville, Trent Rogers. At 120, both teams will forfeit. At 126 for Saegertown is Carter Stewart, and for Titusville, Landon Wolfkill. At 132, Saegertown will forfeit Titusville Nate Stearns. At 138, Saegertown will forfeit Titusville Hayden Warner. At 145 for Saegertown is Jaden Regal, and for Titusville, Mason Titus. At 152 for Saegertown, Garrick Jordan, and for Titusville, Brock Coble. At 160 for Saegertown, Jake Riesinger or Keenan Schaff. Titusville will forfeit. At 172 for Saegertown, Landon Caldwell, and for Titusville, Hunter Titus. At 189 for Saegertown, Matt Nail or Zach Dalton, and for Titusville, Sebastian Titus. At 215 for Saegertown, Damon Rossi or Josh Perrine. Titusville will forfeit. At 285 for Saegertown, Hunter Wright or Robbie Walters, and for Titusville, Lodge Nosco. Tonight's match will start at 106. Titusville has a head coach of Joel Stearns and assisted by Kurt Letteber and Joe Snyder. The Panthers are coached by Jim Mulligan and Kurt Delatry.
Well, they have the lineups for tonight, and my guess is no JV match. We're going right into the varsity match. It appears. So we'll get the paperwork here to us, and Titusville will forfeit 106. You mentioned earlier, Pat, how quiet it is because of the COVID. We only have so many spectators. This place is usually just a rocking with wrestling fans especially, and thank you, Scott. And so it's going to be a little bit different. So 106 is a forfeit, I believe.
Yep. So the first match will be, for us, will be 113 with Trent Rogers and
Kylie Steiner? No, I'm sorry, Hunter Robinson.
Hunter Robinson.
Yeah. That's the forfeit of 106 you just saw. And now we'll go to 113 and Hunter Robinson for Saegertown. And Rogers for Titusville. They still have 106 on the board, but it should be 113.
And Titusville getting started. This is their first match of the year. They were supposed to have a match on Wednesday that I believe somebody in the other school tested positive for COVID, so the whole thing got postponed.
Oh, nice leg.
Nice single leg there. And he's got to work his other arm out. Now he's got it. Get a little elevation on it.
Down? Yeah.
Got him down for his two. And kind of got his legs in a little bit. Working a little cross face.
Some wrestlers are a lot more aggressive with the legs. Sometime through here we can talk a little bit about that. I think, again, going back to my buddy Aaron Lee, it seemed to tie up the legs a lot. Almost got ourselves in trouble
there. Yeah. He lost that leg and kind of rolled out. That's one thing. It's easy to lose, get in a bad position quick when you're riding legs.
You get up too high or?
Get up too high, just leg loosens up, they can roll you off pretty quick. And
I can see
got
that.
A power half in there. Get his back points here, hopefully. Turn him a little bit more and all right.
Well, he's got 3 anyway.
He should have his 3 there. Now he's, and there the ref gave it to him. He was clearing to make sure he could then turn him again. He's got him broke down nice. And again, looking for that
cradle. Do you, in that situation, as long as he's turned, the max he can get is 3. If you don't have a pinning combination, you want to try to get him back out and then roll him again, as like in a tilt type of situation, Pat?
Right, just roll him over, get your 3 points, come back, clear the move so that the ref, awards a point. That way you can turn him again. If you don't, and if you go too quick, you can end up not scoring 3 more points because the ref feels that you're in the same move.
5-0, the end of first period, Titusville. A little caution here. What's the ref looking for in that starting position like that he cautions?
He cautioned him there for his hand on the navel. He must not have gotten it around enough when he assumed the position there.
Okay.
It's hard to tell sometimes. Each ref looks a little different, has a different view of it.
Same move my wife used last night when I didn't do the dishes.
She should be trying a shot caller, but
Pat, it doesn't work.
Trent, he should have his 2 here as he worked his legs over there.
They gave him the 2.
Saegertown got a little high there, and he was able to flip him right over, flip his legs over.
Oh, he's got
a couple of points there. Yeah. I think he only got 2 on that turn.
9-0. Titusville. Trenton Rogers.
He's doing a nice job. He's just kind of working those legs in. It's worked for him the first time around. I can see him working it a second time here.
There's that up high again situation.
There's that high. He's not, legs aren't sitting there. So now he's in trouble and kind of on his back here. Saegertown got the reversal. He's got that arm in tight in the back. This is where I think they're both looking a little tired looking a little tired from where they were in the first period.
Oh, that's good.
Hopefully Titusville kind of holds out here for another couple of seconds.
Boy, he's got that arm.
He's got that arm in tight.
Third period coming up, 9-2. Check that, 6.
9-2.
9-2. I'm sorry, 6-0 is the bout score. 9-2, Titusville. Got to stay off his back here. Got to get out.
He's got to get up.
Yeah, because he's back into that.
He's back into. If he gets that arm tight, locked in there like he did in the end of that second period, he's going to be in trouble. Kind of just working up, trying to get some hand control, but he missed that there. So now,
what's the referee looking at now in terms of the shoulder?
That shoulder, as long as it doesn't go over a certain angle, it's hard to tell. What looks like from the parent or the spectator view sometimes is different than the ref's view, because you look at some of the ways the shoulder moves stuff, they can get quite a good tilt on it.
Got a stall warning on Titusville.
Yeah, well, he's just kind of holding the zone down there. He's not really moving, and he's gonna find himself getting turned here as soon as this. Oh, there he almost got the reversal there. So now he's not doing a whole lot down there, but he is kind of holding on.
There's a second warning. 1 point.
Gave him a point there for the stolen. Though he's got that cradle locked up, but.
Now, how many points have to be out of bounds here?
Even though their feet are out of bounds here, The shoulders are still in enough, so now they're going to go out.
Okay. Tightening up here.
Tightening up real quick. And they got 20 seconds left here. So Trent really needs to work on this first move getting out. Have his first and second move planned out here.
Quickness is a key here, isn't it?
Yes. And he needs to make sure he's moving enough on that bottom. He doesn't get nailed with another stalling.
Now, what's the next stall call?
It still will just be a point, but, you know, he's...
illegal. Or not illegal, potential dangerous?
Potentially dangerous. He kind of bent over there a little bit.
4.2 seconds.
That was...
What was the...
I think his right shoulder was bent around a little too far when he got that pass in.
Well, Trenton's there. Hang in there. He wins this first bout 9-6. So about score 6-3 now, Saegertown. And we go up to 120.
Which Titusville's going to forfeit here.
Well, so does...
I think they're going to be bumping somebody around for that.
Yeah, they're not going to give up 6.
So then Landon Wolfco will be coming out at 126, and I think Carter Stewart.
Yep.
It's
always nice when the coach just mentioned the name in it.
Oh, got it.
Stewart's a lanky boy.
These two both have very similar builds.
Yes, they do.
They're tall, thin, long arms.
Advantage or disadvantage to height?
Advantages and disadvantages with it.
Okay.
If you know how to use it, you know, getting in on those ankle picks on your opponent, having those, you know, with the long legs, long arms, you can reach out and work an ankle pick pretty easy. But then again, there's a lot of legs for somebody to shoot in on you at. And Saegertown's been fortunate; they got a couple of matches in earlier already this year.
And that helps.
Helps get people into shape a little bit. You know, only having 10 kids in the varsity program that limits how much live wrestling and stuff you can do. And I'm sure that it's going to be a while until we find being in shape. And
so your first couple of matches are almost like a scrimmage situation for you because of the lack of competition and practice.
He's got that bar in the back and working it, trying to turn him.
You know, one of the things you hear Hall...
He's going to get up. Almost so close.
I hear oftentimes from parents as well as coaches, head up, head up, head up. How critical is that? Apparently important.
Very important. You know, if you're looking down the whole time, you can't really see what you're doing. Your whole body's moving in that direction.
2-0 Saegertown on this bout.
So Titusville chose down there and almost up again. He rode him right out. That was a nice job by both kids there. So he's evidently the coach thought he was tied up for a tilt there, and the wrestler didn't agree with it, didn't roll through like he was being instructed to do. Sat pretty good. He just couldn't get quite around on that. He got that bar in the back pretty tight. has him broke down and
Are there certain? There he goes.
There he goes.
Not quite.
Until he breaks that.
Get those legs.
Until he gets that leg out.
He's got a cradle in.
He's got that cradle in, but he's got to break that. There, he got the 2, and he should be counting some back points here.
He may get 6.
He may get 6. There he
did.
goes. That was a nice reversal on him, and.
Well, you talked a bit ago about one little mistake and changes the whole complexion, and that happened in that particular bout.
Certainly did, and he came back good and strong with that. Next up for Titusville's Nate Stearns at 132, and
forfeit.
And they're going to forfeit to Nate. And next up at 138 will be Hayden Warner for Titusville, and Saegertown has a forfeit listed for that also. So it's going to be a short night tonight if we go with these forfeits.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, in the forfeits, the one wrestler has to show at the mat and
has to come out with the headgear on and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so 145 for Titusville should be Mason Titus, and
where are we here? 45.
Regal.
Jaden Regal.
Jaden Regal.
Titus right now leading in the bout score 21-12 with forfeits and so on. The other thing they did several years ago, Pat, is normally in the old days we started at the smallest weight, went to the heavyweight, and now they flip it around. Now tonight we happen to start at 106, but they don't do that all the time. They could start at 145 or whatever. Is that to take pressure off the last match?
Yeah, they got into that's a drawing they do before every match to see what the starting weight is, and used to be not over until the heavyweight every time, but
put a lot of pressure in those last couple weights emotionally.
And sometimes it's a long time between warming up and getting out there.
That's very true.
He got that bar in, kind of got him turned over pretty. Had him in there pretty tight.
So the pin takes it to 21-18 bout score.
So Brock Koval will be up here at 152. And
where are we at? 52. It was like Garrett Jordan. I think that's right. Garrett Jordan, perhaps. I can't.
Some of the handwriting is.
Yeah. Paperwork. We'll ask our assistant here sometime here.
Got a nice shot in. Got a nice leg in there. And there's some of that mat awareness. You saw him pull back and make sure that they were going to stay in bounds with that.
Those that followed Rocket football might recognize some of these names as they come out here to wrestle. We talked about other schools and their football players. We got a lot of them on the team too. Colville being one of them. Titus.
Brought him back down.
Some Nosco kid coming up here. He's part of our football program.
A little coaching there.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. If he keeps the weight on, he's kind of working, has that bar in. Looking to tie up that Farmers, it looks like he's trying to get his arm in there. Pulling him around with his knee a little bit.
Cole's a lanky young man. He's got some size to him. Looks like he's going to go some other direction here. Nope,
Still trying to
Still
get that.
trying it.
The problem is he's got to pull him back in. And
there he's got it. Can't get the reach through.
So close.
Yep. I thought he had it there for a minute.
He's not in a good place on the mat to even if he does get it locked up to
Gonna roll him out.
He could roll him out too easy and there he's going to has him rolled over and getting a few back points.
3 seconds.
Nice way to end the period.
5-0 Colville of Titusville on top here at the end of one. So get going here. Saegertown has deferred. Titusville's going to take up. Get that leg tied up real quick so they can't stand up on you.
Keep them broke down and try and work that bar back in. It is weird in here with being so quiet.
It is different, isn't it? Yeah.
So different than what a wrestling match should be.
Yeah, it's. Football was that way too. No crowds and noise.
Well, we talked just the other night during the girls' basketball game. We remember coming in here to watch basketball, years ago, and you'd have the pep band and the cheerleaders. By the way, we're supposed to say hi to the cheerleaders tonight. They really miss being here, cheering on their
all those things
athletes.
It's all part of the program, and you miss it when it's not here.
Yeah. There, he's got him turned over. He finally was able to reposition him.
He's got him now.
Got a long time to work off his back, so here's sometime a matter of patience.
I was watching Dad up there. He was very calm through that whole process. I
noticed he was sitting on his hands.
I didn't notice that, Pat, but no wonder he wasn't in trouble. 27-18, about score. Titusville on top as we go to the 160,
which Titusville will be forfeit.
So that'll bring within 3 points.
And then up at 172 will be Hunter Titus and Landon Caldwell.
Looks like we're Shaft. We're going to go with Caldwell here. And a forfeit.
Well, that was 160.
Oh, that was 160. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's correct. They had 2 wrestlers weighed in at the 160, and I'm not sure if that was Reisinger or Shaft that went out. Okay, now we're at 172, and it'll be Landon Caldwell for Saegertown and Hunter Titus for Titusville. I think a 189 up on the board there. Did we miss something? No. No, I think it's just keeping up with where we're at in the match. Well, it's our first match, and even our timekeeper's having a bit of a problem. We won't pick on him tonight. We'll let him have a break. He won't hear us anyways. Not unless he's recording. Hunter's going to walk around. Oh, there it was pretty close. Quick. Yeah. These bigger kids, that space on the mat goes away pretty quick. Do you use your weight and his weight, like the pressure they have now in this lockup, to try to bring him in so you can grab the single? How do you work that? It's kind of a push and pull. So if you can get him pushing into you, like we saw in that one junior high match with the headlock, he was pushing in and rolled him right over. If they're going back, you can pull them, you can manipulate them around a little bit till get that leg out where you want it. Work them around until a leg pops out to where you feel you can make that shot.
he was coming in. He was pushing pretty good against Hunter, and he kind of worked him over pretty good with that.
2-0 about score. Titusville's Hunter Titus on top.
About 50 seconds left in the match. And Hunter's working at breaking him down here. Looks like he's got that tied up. It's hard to see from this angle if he's got it tied up good or not. But he looks like he needs to step around. He should have that arm tied up pretty tight. He looks with his arm around the waist. And there he seems to be going. He's got that bar in pretty tight. Just couldn't get enough of it in there.
No points there. A lot of work for no points.
Yeah.
This time Titusville is going to defer to Saegertown.
And he chose down. So we'll see if Hunter can get that bar back in again and get him broke down. Hunter got him down a little easier that time. He's worked back up pretty good. Overall, we've seen a lot of good matches tonight. A lot of evenly spaced kids.
Well, and even when you're talking Titusville's first match, they seem to be very focused.
Yeah,
the anxieties doesn't seem to be there for the first match. They seem very focused, which is a tribute to coaching.
And they all seem to be in a little bit better shape than I kind of anticipated them being at this time of year. You know, there he's got that power half, and he's got him worked around. See if he can get his leg out now. And he couldn't get his leg out to come around to the side. Well, Hunter's holding on. Saegertown's got that leg, but whether he can hold on to it or not with Hunter on top of him.
Almost got out of it.
Almost got out of it, but kind of one of those so close but yet so far when you're in this.
Pat, would you be one of those parents that sat right on that bottom bleacher and coaching your kid?
Mine and others.
He wasn't particular who he helped out.
I wasn't particular about who I yelled at.
Hey, real quick, we want to thank Dr. Timothy Brooks, proud sponsor of Winter Sports. Complete foot and ankle care, surgical and non-surgical treatment of foot and ankle conditions with 2 convenient locations in Titusville and Franklin. Dr. Timothy Brooks.
Ooh, there, Hunter turned him right to his back. Came up, stood him, and pulled him right back. And that's a long time to fight off your back.
Yeah, not going to do it. Wow. That was quick. That's what we need to replay, Luke. Wow, that was quick.
Hunter had sat out and kind of pushed back into him. And when that pushed back hard enough that Saegertown kind of tripped back on the mat, and Hunter landed well on that. So next should be Sebastian Titus for Titusville. And
we at 189?
189, and we're going to see who they send out.
We'll have to ask our assistant here who they're going to send out. $33-30 is the best score, and Sebastian Titus out on the mat for Titusville. We're getting some help here with it. Sure, we get the right young man for Saegertown. And
they're telling me this is Josh
Perrine.
He was
easy for you to say.
He was listed at the 215 category, so I'm not sure where he weighed in at, but we knew they'd be moving some people around a little bit.
Well, that's one of the advantages you have when you have the number of students, number of athletes. You can play that game a little bit. It's not quite as easy as you could years ago because of like you mentioned earlier, the restrictions in weight certification. But
Saegertown ran out of mat on that one.
Yeah, they did.
Right on that edge there, he was able to. Sebastian kind of went out of position on that with that head tie up, and these two are just trying to figure out what's comfortable for the night.
I'm watching the feet a little bit, Pat, and watching Sebastian gets back on his heels. Is there a...
Yeah, you don't want to be walking too much on your heels. But he's moving pretty good back and forth. You know, he's not on his heels the whole time.
No, he's not. I just caught that a couple of times. You're right.
And that he's pushing into him and tried to snap him back when he came, it was, we talked earlier on that pushing, and these heavier weights are definitely not the momentum that those lighter weights are.
No. No score here as we go into the second period. The bout score 33-30. Titusville with
Sebastian's trying to get him back down onto the mat here a little bit. Kind of not in a real good position right there.
Yeah, your wife almost had a souvenir, Pat.
Yeah. Nice that the bleachers aren't quite as close as they were last year. Those two would have been into them. Sebastian brought him back down. Now he's right back up.
And about to get out.
If he breaks that hand, he's going to get one there.
Now they're neutral. Now they're so he picked up three.
Turned that into a three-point move there.
Yeah, that's kind of an unusual. Happened so quick.
He broke. Once he broke the hands, that was he was free, and that was a 1 point.
Okay.
Then Sebastian went down. He was able to spin around right behind him and get those two.
3-0 bout score.
Sebastian was close on that stand up there and has a little bit of hand control, but there he gave up on it. Now he needs to come up again. Saegertown broke him down here, and then silence in the gymnasium.
Here we have about 30 people watching in a gymnasium that seats about 1,000, so it gets pretty quiet. And Into 2 periods, 3-0. Saegertown on top.
Sebastian isn't jumping up real quick here. There, the ref agreed with that.
Told him to hustle it up a little bit, did he?
Gave him a stall call there.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Sebastian looked like he was taking a little bit of a breather to me, and I guess the ref agreed with my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
And I think this is one of those where it's hard to be getting into shape this early in the season. And even though, we're in mid-January, it's still beginning of the season for these guys.
I always felt bad for the wrestlers, Pat, because you had Thanksgiving and Christmas.
You got to watch your weight.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
He's got that bar, and he's got him tied up pretty good right here.
Yeah, this is going to be tough to get out of a lot of time. So Saegertown picks up the win at 2:15.
All right. Yeah, this will be
at 189. I'm sorry.
189. Then they'll pick up a forfeit at 2:15, and then we'll bring out Lodge Nosco at heavyweight, and we'll see who they're sending out tonight.
We'll check and see. I'm going to move my seat here a little bit, Luke, so if I come into your room, you'll understand why.
Hunter Wright is the Saegertown coming out. Nice ankle pick. That was a nice start for him. And he needs to keep some weight on top of him here.
He's got it locked. Yep.
Working that power half in, and
What does Lodge weigh? No, he weighed in at 285. He can be how far down or up?
For heavyweight, he could be down, I think, at 190, and still wrestle
heavyweight.
There's so many pounds under 215 that they could be. They can usually do one weight class.
Okay. What's Lodge's normal weight? I think he played football like at 245 or 255 or something like that.
Yeah, about 255. And he's in the 255, 260 range right now.
I'm glad I didn't have to pay your food bill. I don't think any of your young men were.
Well, my middle one was the lightest of them.
Yeah, he wasn't small.
He wasn't small, no. And this is where the parenting's hard, because I want to be yelling at what to do too.
Well, we can mute your mic and you can just have at it. And,
I think the high school coaches can take care of that. He doesn't need me. That underhook's there.
How much time do you spend in the house talking now? You're going to go home tonight. How much time do you spend talking about these things?
Sometimes I've learned not to coach too much from home. Sometimes they don't want to hear it from Dad.
You ever get in the car, Pat, and take the long way home and just have a conversation? I've done that.
I've had those conversations. I've also sometimes wanted to take the short way home with some attitudes after maybe the night didn't go the way we wanted. This will be a little better. He's in the center of the mat.
All tied up 2-2 here in this final battle. After a while, they're backing up. Isn't that
the Saegertown seems to be backing up a lot. I know the Titusville coach is calling for a stall call.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's feeling like he's backing up a lot from him. And heavyweights are kind of tough there because you see a lot of backing up and a lot of waiting for movement. And Lodge, I'd like to see him working an underhook right now. He's kind of definitely pushing him around a little bit. He needs to get that underhook in and jack him up a little bit. There's the first stall call.
That's on Saegertown.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Lift up, Lodge. Stand up with that leg. I brought the crowd a little bit to life here.
There's your noise.
Well, we're down to, if the score's right, winner of this bout takes the name to the match.
The young man from Saegertown has come back nicely, though. Lodge was really dominating him early. And coaches from Saegertown trying to let Lodge up. Give him a point. I must figure he can take Lodge down.
Well,
I don't know if I wanted to do that.
I think Lodge was looking for a headlock there. I don't know that it was there quite the way he thought so. I don't know that with the stalling calls already on there, I don't know that I'd be. I think Lodge should go back to his ankle pick there like he did the first round. I think it's there. He just needs to get that underhook in and. Oh, it's so close.
Mom's helping you out over there.
Yeah, I always get blamed for being the loud one.
There's a nice shot. Double, got to pull him.
Lift that leg up.
Both these young men are getting tired. That's a lot of weight out there working.
Yeah.
We got a 3-2 bout score right now. Lodge is up with 15 seconds, excuse me. And Lodge is going to hold on here and pick up the win 3-2. Getting tough.
That's gonna be a
36-36 final bout score. Looks like. As Lodge wins the 285 at a 3-2 bout score, and Titusville ends up with a 36-36 tie here against Saegertown. Very quiet. I'm not sure. Everybody's kind of looking around. Not much is going to happen next. They can't wrestle anymore. I'm not going out there. I don't know about you, Pat.
I'm not going out for the night.
Done for the night.
How about we take a quick timeout? We'll come back and wrap things up here from the Launchpad then. Tied at 36, Panthers and the Rockets. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Whoever said,
"It's only a dog,"
never loved a dog. Our philosophy is simple. We treat every dog as if it were our own, and believe us, we spoil our dogs. When dogs are comfortable, they're happy. The Barking Lot in Titusville is ready to make your dog happy by offering grooming services, daycare, and boarding. Call today to schedule an appointment, or better yet, stop in and discover a stranger, crazier, quirkier group of dog lovers at the Barking Lot in Titusville.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union is here for you. In a world of uncertainty, isn't it nice to know some things haven't changed? Like Community Connect's commitment to their members and community. We are here to help you save, plan, invest, grow, and sometimes move forward into new opportunities or adventures. Community Connect FCU has many options available, and becoming a member is pretty easy. Stop in, call, or visit our website at communityconnectfcu.com and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street, Titusville.
Exceptional care. That is what our team of compassionate experts at Titusville Area Hospital Orthopedics will provide. Whether you're experiencing aches and pains or have suffered from significant injury, we are here for you. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon Michael Dvorkin is highly experienced in treating all orthopedic and sports medicine conditions. No matter what the treatment may be, you can trust that we'll be here for you every step of the way, helping you get back to the life you enjoy. Learn more about our exceptional orthopedic care at titusvillehospital.org.
Interstate Pipe and Supply means it when we say service means business. With a knowledgeable staff, full fleet of trucks, and large product offering, we can answer your questions and fill your orders, big job or small. Covering multiple applications and industries, we're not just a plumbing location, but a one-stop shop assisting homeowners and contractors quickly and efficiently. We are locally owned and make it our number one priority to keep our customers returning and happy. We have been a staple in the Titusville community for 40 plus years. Stop in today and let us service you. Good luck to the Titusville Rockets this year.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Hey, do they ever ask you what you're wearing?
Yeah. Red sweater, button-down shirt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When it comes to your rehabilitation needs, you have a say in the kind of care you want to receive. At Anderson Physical Therapy, we are committed to your long-term health and well-being. We don't treat you like a patient, we treat you like a person, discussing your injury or condition and working with you on a game plan to get you back to better health. So stay on top of your game with a friendly and knowledgeable therapist at Anderson Physical Therapy. All right, well, a lot went into that decision, Jim.
Well, we're waiting now to pass over talking to the scorers table. It's 37-36 Titusville.
So what I overheard and what Mr. Salvo explained to me was they counted up each win on both teams, and Titusville had 7 wins and Saegertown had 6, so they were awarded.
Oh, it goes by the number of wins.
Yeah, so they were awarded. It was funny because he was going through the rule book saying, okay, how many, this, how many that, and nobody qualified, so that was the next rule in line that applied. So they went through and counted the number of wins. Very interesting, though.
I've never had that happen. That's the first I've ever known it was in the book, Pat.
You find out rules every day when you go to some of these.
Pat, Saegertown, we mentioned, an excellent wrestling program. In terms of confidence for these guys, they've got to be feeling pretty good.
I would think so. Coming out in your first match like that, giving up 4 forfeits and walking away, that's got to be a nice night for those boys and for the coach. I mean, this has been a bridge season to start, trying to get these kids in shape. A good showing for the night.
Yeah, I think they have to be really happy with what they've seen tonight. We talked about because it's the first match, the anxiety and so on, but they come out here ready to wrestle, focused in what they had to do. Credit to the coaching staff, having these kids ready to go. So I would think overall, Coach has to be very pleased with what he's seen in his club.
And I think both coaches do. I mean,
right.
The Saegertown team looked really good, too. I mean, there was a lot of well-wrestled matches tonight. And, I mean, you look at that last match, it came down to, there was a point there. That made a nice night. They started out Titusville, with that first match with a 9-6 win. Both teams had some pins, but overall, even the matches that ended with somebody getting pinned, they were a well-fought match right up until that point. So I think, we had a lot of nice matches tonight for these kids out here on both teams. Saegertown has had a couple of matches already, but again, that just started this week. So their couple matches all came in the last, I think 5 days, I believe,
yeah, something
when I
like
looked
that.
at it.
And that's one of the things they're going to have to deal with throughout the season. You don't know from one week to the next what's going to happen with the COVID situation. So these schools can plan their schedules, but you don't know exactly how that's all going to play out.
Yeah, it could change in an instant.
Well, it's our second time down here, Luke. We had a girls' basketball game at Union City. It was in here the other night, and a great wrestling match tonight. A lot of fun to do, Pat. Thank you much. I look forward to doing a lot more of these with you.
And, I haven't asked him yet, but
we will ask him. Then get on the stick here, boss.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it immensely. Yes, it was fun. Tomorrow night, we're going to be back here, Luke. The boys' basketball team is going to be hosting Harbor Creek, I believe it is.
Yeah, a tough challenge for the Rocks. We got to watch them practice a little bit before the wrestling match tonight, Jim. And I know we both talked to Coach Mellenbacher. And again, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. But looking forward to being back here tomorrow.
Excellent,
Pat. Thank you. Nice job.
Thank you.
For our entire crew, camera operators Gavin Griffin, Sam Rio, our commentators Jim Bodemer and Pat Nosco. I'm Luke Rio. Thanks so much for joining us for Rocket Wrestling. Our coverage this season made possible by these great sponsors: by Anderson Physical Therapy, by The Barking Lot, by Interstate Pipe and Supply, by Armstrong, by Oil Creek Plastics, by Community Connect Federal Credit Union, by Dr. Timothy Brooks, by State Farm Insurance, by the Meadville Medical Center, Titusville Area Hospital, by Donovan and Bauer Auto Group, by Wagner's Gun Tech, by Hilltop Discount Grocery, by Titusville Market Square, by Big G Tire and Auto,